Is technique overrated? This question has been staring me in the face lately as I've been working on one of the most unique projects I've ever taken on.
What is this?
This box is what started it all, and I'll show you what's inside in just a bit. Preparing for it forced me to rethink my obsession with technique as a musician. This is my close friend Stephanie, and for her birthday coming up, I'm preparing a gift that combines my original music and artwork together in a unique sound system called the Musicframe, made by Samsung, the sponsors of this video. I'm preparing 2 tracks for this that are almost opposites of one another. The first one is being made with a rather serious attitude, paying attention to the technical aspects of music, both as a pianist and composer. The second one is rather goofy and random, but a little more fun and spontaneous. I tried to decide between the two, but I couldn't. So I'm gonna finish both and see which one my friend likes more based off of her reaction. Originally, I didn't even intend on having a second option, but I came up with this idea one afternoon while working on the first track by accident, and I had so much fun messing around with it that it just stuck. So here is the Musicframe, which will hold my art here and also will play the music that I end up choosing. And what I love about it is that it will just blend into your environment. Here's some notes about the Musicframe. First of all, it's extremely easy to use. You can pair it directly to your smartphone and it'll even work with voice commands like Google, for example. The speakers feature an impressive 3D sound with Dolby Atmos capabilities that has a wide sweet spot so you can enjoy a balanced and consistent sound wherever you are. And using the Q Symphony technology, you can pair it with a TV and a soundbar for ultimate surround sound. The best part is that visually, it's fully customizable. Nowadays, we have screens all around us, so I think it's quite refreshing that this has no screens and it looks like the most discreet frame. You can add your own images or order an art panel, which is what I did using an image that I drew. I don't consider myself a visual artist, but I really love drawing, and I found it kind of paralyzing to create anything because I knew that this would be in the frame. And to help me get over that, I actually leaned into this beginner's mindset, using, I guess, a technique that was sort of made up in the moment. I used a tablet and I started scribbling and started to make the shapes of a violin. And that helped me free myself from all of this self-consciousness of, oh my gosh, what am I doing? This is gonna be framed. What is my friend gonna think? Does this really deserve to be framed? All of this. So as I am switching out the panel here, let me explain how I got started with all of this. So Steph is not only a close friend of mine, she is a great violinist, and I wanted to include her directly in the music somehow, but I couldn't just ask her because all of this is a surprise. So the last time we were hanging out, I somehow convinced her to record some sounds on her violin for me, as well as her casually speaking in between. I'm often inspired by sounds created by playing instruments in non-traditional ways, so I asked her to tap and pluck at her violin, as well as some toy instruments I had lying around.
It's like a cat!
And just knowing that I'm going to start with those sounds gave me a starting point. What I really want to capture in the end is to create something that represents the spirit of our friendship and also her attitude when it comes to music. So we lived together while we were both students at Juilliard, and those were some of the most grueling years of our college lives because we were so focused on practicing so much, learning all of this repertoire so that we can do well in our auditions, in competitions, and we were very stressed out at the time. But I remember when we would hang out and sometimes play duos together, it would always be fun because we knew that it was just for us, and we were always able to find that joy and sometimes silliness in creating music, and I really am grateful for our friendship because of this. So what I'll be doing is I'll test out the music that I'm writing while listening to it in the Musicframe, because it's very important to hear how it will sound like in the audio system that you'll be playing. Honestly, I think it's so awesome that I'm able to create this complete package for her. So let's now move into the music. Before testing out the Musicframe, I'm first gonna make some adjustments in the music. That one started the first track for me. Something about this, I really like that texture. I tried to get clever with the happy birthday melody. So hidden in that phrase are the notes of happy birthday. And here is where I feel that some of the technique I was using is killing some of the creativity. Instead of just stopping there, I kept adding more layers, and I basically turned this phrase into longer fragments, shorter fragments, and it ends up sounding a little cluttered. It's cool on paper, but I really don't think it works. Not only that, I started to intellectualize the music and thought that the piano part needs to be a little more complex and a little more technically challenging. In classical music, for example, sometimes these technically challenging elements are really necessary to express what the music is trying to communicate. However, with this track, the virtuosity is not only unnecessary, but it distracts from the main elements of the music. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete all of that. On the contrary, where I think I can use a little more of compositional technique is somewhere like here where I'm using the sample.
How do you even play this?
This is a technique that I'm going to borrow from Steve Reich, where he takes vocal samples and he adds pitches to them, and it's a really cool effect.
But today, we're all done.
I think something like that.
How do you even play this?
Okay, so now let's export what I have, and I'm going to play it through here to see what it sounds like. Okay, I'm really impressed with the sound, not just saying this. This seems small, but it really feels like it's very expansive. As I'm listening, I feel like I could really do a little more with the bass because it's very rich. So I'm gonna add some strings. Thinking about the tension between technique and creativity reminds me of these quotes by two of my favorite artists and composers. Claude Debussy says, "Works of art make rules. Rules do not make works of art." A slightly different angle to this is Pablo Picasso's quote. He says, "Learn the rules like a pro, so you can break them like an artist." What I'm gathering from all of this is not to go in either direction, but to respect both. Understand technique, master your instrument, master your craft, so that you can gain freedom and support what you're doing, but don't rely on technique for creativity. I think keeping all of this in mind will help me finish this project. Now let's have a look at the second track.
So funny. So funny.
So with this one, how everything got started was me playing around with this sample.
Do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want. And I was pitching it up and down, and it just made me laugh so hard. It's really chaotic right now, but I feel like there's potential to this. Let's hear that part with the speakers.
Do whatever you want.
Ooh.
Do whatever you want. How do you even play this?
Okay, so I definitely need to mix this and really pay attention to the sound quality because right now it's really rough. What I'm gonna do is finish both. So I'll check in with you tomorrow as I am headed to her place to give her the gift. I am getting close. Steph has no idea what's going on today. She thinks it's a little sus that I have not explained to her what's going on. I'm here. We'll see what she says.
Welcome. What is this?
It's a surprise. Are you ready?
What is going on? How was your drive?
Good, good.
What is this? This is so heavy and so nice.
So this is a sound system. I drew this.
What?
And I'll play you some music that I wrote for you.
Wait,
We
what?
We need to plug it in.
This is insane. You made the music for me?
Yes, I did.
What?
So it's a violin if you...
Whoa!
So I wrote 2 tracks. So here I was explaining to Steph that I had 2 tracks, and I know some people might think that this is a bit strange, but I knew that Steph would be okay with this, and also that she would give me an honest answer. Also keep in mind that I just rested the music frame on the sofa directly, but it still sounded pretty good, and since this track is a bit longer, I'll fast forward a little bit.
Whoa.
So this is called Seriously Happy Birthday, Steph.
Wow.
Oh, there's someone.
Oh,
here. It's obviously using the samples that.
Yeah. I was like, I could totally hear that having somebody singing.
Really?
Yes.
You want to sing on it?
No, I mean some of the harmonies in there. It's kind of like moody, trip hoppy. It's really cool.
What do you think of the sound?
Sounds good.
It's impressive for a small thing, right?
Very.
You
So it's
never-
basically like wall art with music.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. I love that.
You ready for the second one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do whatever you want.
OMG.
Do whatever you want. Wow, this is so me.
Doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. Doesn't matter.
How do you even play that?
Doesn't matter.
How do you even play this?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
How do you even play this?
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, okay.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
How do you even play this? How do you even play this? Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh. So funny. Yes. Wow. That's amazing.
You like it?
I feel like that encapsulates who I am. It's like the best birthday present ever. Seriously.
So the first one, obviously I was doing a little more intellectual thinking.
Yeah. Yes.
And this one, I was like, let me just capture Steph. And also, when we hang out.
Thank you, Alice.
You're the best.
The zings.
I know. Okay, so which one do you choose though between the two?
Ooh, they're so different.
If you were to.
Wow. I feel like they're
Honestly.
two different parts of my life. Like that first one was like New York
When we were living together.
when we were living together, and this one is now like kind of both of us where we're at. Just like whatever,
I'm now back at home. I'm so glad I was able to share this gift with Steph. In a way, I had a feeling she might choose the second track, but it was so much fun watching her reactions to both. And all of this leaves me with a few thoughts. The first is that you don't always need to use all of the techniques that you know, but just having them under your belt gives you a lot of confidence. Another thought is the power and meaning of actually sharing our creations. This project gave me a chance to personalize a gift in a way that I never thought was possible. I enjoyed writing with a music frame in mind because I was imagining how the music would sound like in Steph's living room or wherever she decides to place it, and I'm really glad that it blends in and fits the vibe of her place. Most importantly, this was just so much fun for both of us, and I think that's what matters the most at the end of the day. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you again to Samsung for sponsoring this video. I'll include links in the description so you can check out the music frame. Thank you to my patrons on Patreon, and thank you all for watching and subscribing. I'll see you very soon in the next video.